Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Last time we finished up our first expedition into the city of Canabras, and now we're back here at the Defender's Heart. We are a bit wounded, both me and Woljif are wounded here, and so Thunder looks like... Thunder's our death sword too. But generally we're okay in terms of our abilities and stuff. We still have all of our blood abilities, and I don't think we've used too many spells, so we should be safe to continue onward. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk to Daerin and Ninio. Daerin's over here, it looks like. And we need to sell too. Actually, Gimel, show me what you have. Go ahead and sell. I guess I have nothing to sell. I think I had this up, maybe, with the other guy. I remember. Do I need all these half breastplates? I don't think we do. Let's sell those. We'll keep the bracers of armor. Rapier and short beard. I think we're good with that. Let's just sell that. What we wanted to do was, before I forget, you have that ring, right? Oh. Are you alright? Abadar willing, we'll hold out here until the army arrives. Whenever I sleep outside the walls of the Defender's Heart, I'm plagued by terrible dreams. Can you help me? Level up? Was that a level up or just a quest complete? The priest studies your face carefully. You look tired, but otherwise entirely healthy. If we were anywhere else, I would simply tell you to get some rest. But we are on the border of the world wound, and I'm all too aware of what's happening to you. As you know, the wound is a rift between Golarion and the Abyss, and all the evil that feeds the Abyss does the opposite in our world. It feeds on Golarion. So it is that even when we cannot see demons near us, our ultimate foe, the Abyss, is always surrounding us. Many soldiers fighting in the world wound experience similar things. They suffer terrible nightmares, get no peace, and sometimes even lose their minds. But we are trained to help you with this affliction. By the will of Abadar, I have consecrated an altar here. The god's grace permeates the space around it, soothing one's soul and quieting thoughts during rest. So if you find your nerves are fraying, seek out a holy place like this. Approach it, and all the corruption will be cleansed from you. Tell me again about that. Thank you. Show me what you have. I want the Icy Protector, please. A powerful blood magic. I don't think I blood rage, do I? I don't think so. I want that though. That's gonna be helpful for my girl Camellia here, who's got negative levels, which is unfortunate. Go ahead and equip that up to 24 AC. Fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. Daerin, my man. Is that Nini? No, that's Ember. Oh yeah, we have Ember to talk to too. The Defender's Heart is a splendid choice for the Crusades outpost. The very sight of these walls brings back fond memories of drinks and revels. The drinks were really good, by the way. If I ask you a few personal questions, you can try. I've heard stories about the tragedy that befell your family. I hope you don't feel obliged to offer me your insincere condolences on this unfortunate occasion. My whole family, my entire noble line, they all died. And demons are to blame. It's not like I actually loved any of my relatives except for my mother, but what's gone is gone. The family crypts are full of corpses, all covered in dust and the shadows of the past. What do you cherish most in life? What a deep question to ask. There are far too many things that I cherish to fit them all into a single conversation. Believe it or not, but I might be one of the most life-loving people you've ever known. Daerin smiles. His eyes are gleaming with something different from his usual impudence and irony. There's a dreamy air about him all of a sudden. I rarely meet anyone who embraces the joys of living as enthusiastically as myself. There are so many exciting and beautiful things in the world. It should be illegal to waste your time on anything you do not enjoy. And I am not afraid to repeat that to anyone's face. Should it be Discari and his demonic herd, or Iomedae and Iomedae the Lightbringer herself. What do you hate most? The feeling of helplessness, the lack of control over my life. Darren replies without thinking. Then he adds with obvious sarcasm, "And onion rings, of course. I'd murder the person who came up with those abominations." "How dare you? I love onion rings." "You don't seem especially keen on helping people, but your knowledge of healing is truly impressive. What prompted your interest in that?" "Ah, if you really want to try out everything life has to offer, you also have to understand how to deal with the consequences. I'm not talking about a simple hangover, mind you." That's a very interesting reason to want to learn how to heal, so that you can do crazy shit. Do you have any good stories about your past exploits? I've got plenty. But I have to warn you that even the most outrageous debauchery sounds far less thrilling when you were not the one doing the debauching. Still, since you asked, I suppose the worst mess I ever got myself into was when I staged my own kidnapping. I was once in correspondence with one of the Riverlands nobles, the young Lord Lebeda, and he told me about his days as a hostage to a group of bandits. This made me wonder what it would be like, and I thought that it might be fun to set up a little experiment. I engineered my own kidnapping by a certain gang through a chain of intermediaries and hired actors. Those fellows took the job very seriously. They caught me by surprise, killed my 2 bodyguards, and even tied me up. Of course, the whole thing seemed preposterous now, but it seemed like an ingenious idea at the time. The employers had told the kidnappers that they were to keep me safe and sound, and another group of mercenaries in disguise was watching the spectacle from afar, ready to interfere in case anything went wrong. It turned out to be a terrible idea nonetheless. It wasn't the least bit of fun or exciting. Sure, those bandits had been unable to torture or harm me physically in any way, but they had plenty of other non-invasive methods of humiliation in their arsenal. Taking almost all of your clothes off and splashing ice-cold water all over you, for example. Ugh. I can't even remember if I said anything truly offensive to provoke them. Even though I initially planned to let them go after the ransom, their overly emotional reactions made me change my mind. I told my mercenaries to hang them all on the spot. I suppose the whole ordeal taught me a very valuable lesson, which is that I am not built for hardships and trials. Wait, you just told me that a couple of your bodyguards died during the staged kidnapping? Does that mean 2 innocent people lost their lives so that you could have a bit of fun? Yeah, I don't think Manarak really cares about that. Your cool jokes bring people nothing but misery. I say life's too short not to try out everything you can. These mind games of yours will come back to bite you sooner or later. Let's go with the chaotic one. I shall console myself with that thought. So that was a stupid story, and now I'll tell you a truly brilliant one. Prelate Holren had always strictly prohibited any public celebrations in Canopus, and he always picked on me for my lack of respect for the Valen and whatnot. His grumbling annoyed me so much that one day I drove 4 barges into the city harbor and set up a celebration on their decks. The ships on the river didn't fall under the prelate's jurisdiction, you see, so all he could do was snarl at me from the embankment. I, for one, did not forget the old boy. The main attraction of the festivities involved an Inquisitor of Iomedae dancing and roasting beautiful witches on illusory bonfires, taking off his clothes with every new victim. The spectacle was so heated, in every sense of the word, that the prelate almost had a stroke. Darren gives you a mischievous smile. I still consider that one of my finest ideas of all time. Should the Crusaders ever succeed in their efforts against the World Wound, I will do my utmost to get permission to hold a grand public celebration. Rivers of wine free of charge, an obligatory parade, and a carnival in the evening. A contest for the most provocative succubus costume with a hefty prize in gold. Another contest where the participants have to fish a sausage out of a wine jar blindfolded with their hands tied behind their back. The wine will symbolize the blood of all the dead heroes of the war, and the sausage, well, they'll find a heroic meaning for that as well. Over the years, the commemoration of the greatest victory of light over darkness will turn into an ordinary holiday, a fine excuse to get sloshed and rut like animals in the street. Sounds lovely. Yeah. Do you enjoy being mean to everyone? Yes. And here I thought you were hurling insults at people purely by accident. Darren laughs, this time his smile surprisingly soft. I like your way with words. What did you expect me to say if I wanted to make a good impression? Something along the lines of, I'm not mean, I'm just being honest with myself and everyone else. That's what people use as an excuse when they want to keep up their saccharine facade, while still saying whatever the nasty little thoughts spring into their mind. This is not what I do. I have no hidden agenda. I'm just as much of an insufferable prick as I seem to be. Some people are simply begging for a good dose of mockery, so who am I to deny them? I don't give a damn if anyone holds a grudge against me, which is why I don't even try to avoid it. No more questions. I'd like to talk about life in Mendev and the Crusade. Ask, I'm all ears. What's your opinion on Mendev today, in general? It doesn't exist. Darren scowls. It is a frontier country that has attracted every utopian adventurer and fanatic from all over the world for more than a century. It is a place where the strangers outnumber the locals, especially in the cemeteries. The population of Mendev, for the most part, consists of humans and other races not exactly known for their longevity, so the current generation of Mendevians were born in the shadow of the world wound and raised by the Crusaders. I might be the last person to complain about the decline of traditions and lack of character in our country, but I also happen to come from one of Mendev's most ancient lineages. Its history is bred deep in my bones. My tutors told me stories about my heritage. The galleries, libraries, and even interiors of the manors I grew up in were filled to the brim with memories of events long past. There are many heroes of old Mendev among my glorious ancestors, or at the very least, patrons and contemporaries of such heroes. Does anyone actually remember them now? I don't think so. These days, Mendev has its own heroes in shining armor and with holy fire in their eyes. I myself remember how several streets that once celebrated my ancestors were renamed in honor of some crusaders who had died in a heroic fashion. None of the citizens remember the old crossing festival. That was eventually replaced by Armas. These holidays even share the same date. Pretty much the only authentic thing about Mendev now is its endless war with the demons. And is there a point in bemoaning this state of affairs? What's gone is gone, but at least we are no longer some tiny godforsaken northern kingdom, and that's something, isn't it? You don't really like Crusaders, do you? Quite the opposite. When I think about how many devoted heroes were willing to protect this world against a demonic threat, I feel so inspired. Inspired to continue indulging my vices while they fight to keep me safe. Imagine being someone like me. Someone who has everything they can possibly desire. Youth, beauty, wealth, an honest wish to live and enjoy life. But vanishingly few days to put it all to any use. The fact that the word fun itself is not yet outlawed in Mendev must be due to some bureaucratic oversight. You can celebrate your victories solemnly. You can wet your whistle after a challenging battle. But what about real fun? Joys, pleasures? I can't remember a single evening at court without someone chastening me for my banquets, my lovers and mistresses, my luxuriant clothes, my everything. It would have been a lot easier to tolerate all those hypocrites if they took a break once in a while. Instead, there was a constant fuss about how I wasn't doing anything for the greater good and how I only brought shame to my royal cousin. What do you think of our enemies? Sorry if you guys heard that sigh. Do you mean the demons themselves or their followers? The former deserve to be cleansed with heavenly fire for their unholy origin alone, and the latter for their idiocy. I don't understand why a sane person would submit themselves to Duscari or Capriri. Alright, Lady Nocticula almost seems like a bearable enough mistress, yet there are so many other cultists. They've tried to recruit me twice already, and I'm not even that old. First, a very pretty tiefling girl tried to seduce me. Then they came with promises of Lord Baphomet's endless boons. I still wonder what exactly the old hornhead could offer me that I don't already have. You know what I've been thinking? Every shopkeeper knows this trick. An enticing offer along the lines of, 1 in every 100 buns from my bakery contains a silver coin. And of course, a hired actress to make a memorable show of finding said coin in her sweet roll. And there you have it. Hundreds of gullible fools storm the shop, hoping to win a prize for themselves. I think the infamous Aurelia Vorlish was such an actress for the Lords of the Abyss. A petty Sicorian witch who became the uncrowned queen of the world wound. weighted upon hand and foot by demon lords. Only instead of visiting a bakery, the gullible fools rushed to join the cultists. We have an army of unbelievably powerful, supernatural invaders from another dimension hell-bent on destruction and domination. And what do those fools do? They serve them willingly as pawns and lackeys, hoping against hope that someday their masters will notice them. You won't believe how delighted I am to be so vain and self-absorbed. These sins protect me against demonic temptation better than any virtue. What made you join my party after all? You mean, instead of carousing far away from Canopus with a small army of mercenaries to protect me? I'll get to that. You see, when you appeared at my door out of nowhere, awash with bravery and heroism, and started tossing demons around like rag dolls, I thought that your company might be more exciting than my usual crowd of sycophantic hanger-ons. You seemed competent and mysterious at the same time, so I decided that a little demon hunting wouldn't hurt, especially with such an intriguing entourage. That party had been growing staler with every passing second anyway. Needless to say, I'm not here for long. I shall return to the capital or even one of my country estates as soon as we reclaim the city. Crusades, bellowing commanders, row upon row of identical tents. This is not the life for me, but I will certainly remember you and our adventures together for a week, or perhaps even longer than that. I should go. Thank you for the conversation, Darren. Ember! The elf in front of you is young, still an adolescent, or by the standard of their long-lived race. By their long-lived folk. A childish, carefree smile plays on her face, and her wandering eyes linger on you for just a moment before darting off again into the distance. Terrible scars cover her body, and a few of her fingers are missing. A crow sits on her shoulder, observing you with its clever black eyes. Tell me about yourself. Well, They call me Ember. I used to live in the River City, and now I walk with you. That's my story. Why do they call you Ember? I've had many names. When I was little, Mom and Dad called me Dove, or Cricket, or Kitten. Dad called me his first ray of sunshine. And when my mom was cross, she'd call me by a long name, a grown-up one. I can't remember it, no matter how hard I try. Then, when I came to live in the River City, the good people called me different funny names, like Ember, or Torch, or Smoky. I don't know why. They called me Bird Brain because I have a crow. They called me Lucky 7 because of my fingers. She raises her hand. The middle finger on her right hand and the two smaller fingers on her left hand are missing. They sometimes called me Grilled Meat and said I was stupid, but I didn't feel hurt. I mean, they're right. I really am silly. They didn't mean to hurt me. Oh boy. I like Ember. It's a good word. Embers are like people. On the outside, they're gray and cold like stones, but they're warm inside. You can blow on them and they'll start a fire to help you survive a cold night. And that's wonderful, isn't it? Ember it is. I'm sorry, Manorak is probably in physical pain listening to Ember. Where are you from? Far away, from the flower country. The girl gestures vaguely off into the distance. It's so beautiful there. Everywhere there's flowers blooming, golden towers and waterfalls. And everyone is like me, with pointy ears. There's no round-eared people, no short ones, no horned heads. We lived there together, me and Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad argued a lot. Dad used to say that all the good people should be going on the crusade and fight the demons. And Mom said he was silly, because it was so far away and none of our business, and that he shouldn't abandon his child. She meant me. But he didn't abandon me, he took me along. He said I was born the same year that the hole to the demon world opened. He said it was a sign that I would be one of the heroes who would close it. Of course, I'm not a hero, but I'm here anyway, helping as much as I can. So she's 100 years old, roughly. I don't know if it's been exactly 100 years since the world window opened. I think maybe it has been, but either way, she's at least 100 years old. Where did you get your scars? It happened by accident. My dad and I came sailing down the river to join the crusade. Dad said that all the good people were going to the world wound to heal it. He said that the Crusaders were the best people in the world, and together we were going to win. But when we arrived at the River City, the Crusaders got everything mixed up. They thought my dad and I were bad and decided to burn us at the stake. Dad died, and I cried so loudly that one good knight realized it was all a big mistake. He started yelling at the other Crusaders, even the one in charge, and then walked right into the fire and got me out. The others wanted to stop him, but he took out his sword and scared them away. Jesus. The kind knight took me to a healer. I later learned that while the knight was pulling me from the flames, he himself was burned so badly that he died not long after. But I'm still alive. A few fingers missing and my skin is funny. I've lived in the River City ever since. I never had my own house, but I had many friends, and then the demons came, and I met you, and you know what happened after that. Is it really so easy for you to forgive them? I'm not sure I could be so merciful. And that lynch mob called themselves Crusaders? For shame. They must have thought they were doing something unlawful and just. That's what happens when people let the law do their thinking for them instead of their conscience. I've heard enough of your sob stories. I don't care about you or your dead father. You suffered through so much. I kind of want to do like the lawful one in like a sarcastic tone. I guess we'll go with the evil one. Alright, chirps Ember, smiling innocently. It seems your words haven't upset her in the slightest. What do you want to talk about instead? You're insufferable. Do you worship any deity? The girl shakes her head with an unwavering smile. Dad taught me to pray to Iomedae. He said she was a kind goddess, and she called people to crusade against evil. The knights who burned my dad and me worshipped her too. They even lit the fire with a prayer to her, and she did nothing to help us. But then one kind knight alone, without any gods, changed his mind and saved me. I think the gods are the same as us. They don't understand anything, and they're scared of everything, so they hurt themselves and the rest of us. People worship the gods only because they're afraid of being responsible for themselves. And the gods listen to the praise, and they become smug and arrogant, and begin to believe that they're better than us, but they're no better. They're silly sinners just like the rest of us. I think that's the first thing she said that Manarak is nodding along with. Sometimes I pray to the gods, different ones. The good ones, the bad ones. I ask them to stop. Stop fighting and hurting each other. I don't know if they ever hear me, but if they do, I mean, the knight who wanted to burn me, he was able to change his mind and do a good deed. If he can change, maybe Baphomet can too. And he's no longer agreeing with her. How did you survive on the streets? The elf shrugs. There are many good people in the River City. When I sang for them in the street, they'd often give me coins, or bread, or sometimes even clothes. I shared everything with the other homeless, and they showed me where it's safe to sleep, where I could get out of the rain and cold, and where I could find discarded things. When the demons destroyed the River City, I looked for my friends, but I found no one. They probably all died. The homeless have no supplies or weapons or basements to hide in. The knights won't protect them either. Knights are like gods, so self-important. They're saving the world after all. What do they care about the homeless? Still smiling, the girl shrugs. Where do your magical powers come from? These tricks? I have them from my grandma. She used to be my father's grandma, and before that, his father's. I've never seen her myself, but she's very clever and kind. When I lived on the street, sometimes she left food for me on a blanket in the winter. Sometimes I feel her stroking my hair as I fall asleep, but if I open my eyes, there's no one there. She also sent me soot. She scratches the crow's beak and the bird grumbles happily in response. She tells Soot how to do different tricks, and Soot teaches me. It seems that Ember doesn't know who gives her these powers. Her familiar was obviously sent by a powerful creature of good, perhaps an angel or a fae, though you couldn't say exactly who. Thank you. Oh, not at all. I didn't really tell you anything. You're always so cheerful. How do you manage to remain so hopeful when you're surrounded by such horror? Hope? She tilts her head and continues with a smile. No. Hope is a lie. Oh, she's a Sith. What should we hope for? This world is in the hands of demons. The gods can't help. Or they don't want to. Or they forgot about us altogether. The people know they're about to be eaten by demons, but still they quarrel with each other and fight and steal. There's no hope. Only us. We'll have to win without hope. It'll be hard. The entire abyss is against us. We can only win by some miracle, which means we'll have to make one happen. What other choice do we have? We'll work a miracle and win, because we have to. The elf smiles broadly and nods to herself. I have to go. So go. I will. Get me away from her. Nenio! Boy, I am pleased with you. I asked you to bring me to safety, and that's exactly what you did. Indeed, having a follower to aid me is most efficient and, frankly, pleasing. With you on hand, I shall conquer new horizons, plumb the depths of knowledge hitherto unknown, and scale the dizzying heights of future discoveries. Nenio stops to catch her breath. What I mean is, I'd like to express my deepest gratitude. I foresee immense potential in our future cooperation. Happy to help? You always express your delight so effusively. What exactly do you mean, future cooperation? What do you mean, future cooperation? Hand in hand, we will unravel the greatest mysteries inaccessible to the minds of ordinary people. Just imagine it. I, leading the way, proudly staring into the faces of the gods themselves, and you, my loyal follower, walking behind me every step of the way, writing down my deepest thoughts and admiring the profundity of my intellect. If we hold hands, you won't be able to go in front of me and lead the way. That's true. You are the catalyst which, when it reacts with my intellect, will allow the latter to grasp the very essence of the universe itself. Why did I let myself get dragged into this? What? Who are you? Nenio stares at you for a while, bewilderment in her eyes. But then it is replaced by recognition. Oh yes, my new follower. So what am I supposed to do? Oh yes, I must provide some verbal encouragement for you, for your as yet modest achievements, and try to induce you to strive for more of such encouragement. That is the principle that underpins any training. Yes, positive reinforcement. She frowns, but only for an instant. Ah, I see. Your modest nature was unsettled by the overabundance of my gratitude. I do apologize for putting you in such an awkward position. I will never praise you again, unless I forget. Let's get back to business at hand. Your new assignment will be to take me to the inconspicuous ruins that are located in an even more inconspicuous valley lying between Kenabres and Dresden, as soon as is reasonably practicable. I'll mark the place on your map with a large red cross, so you won't forget it. What's so special about these ruins? I'm glad you asked. This is my greatest hypothesis, my secret project, and I won't pass up the opportunity to share it with you, because you are my most loyal follower, and you are worthy of possessing such knowledge. Nenio rubs her nose, and also because you are the first person to ever ask me about it. Some time ago, I was walking around the border of the World Rune, and I met a strange person. He was wearing a frayed gray robe, and his face was hidden behind an odd white mask. Of course, I didn't miss the opportunity to ask him about the reasons for his absurd appearance. And you know what he said to me? He said, I am the answer, but what is the question? Then he walked off in the direction of the World Rune. Sounds cryptic. The next day, after I had already forgotten about the first encounter, I had another similar encounter. This time I met an elven woman, judging by the pointy ears sticking out from behind the mask. I am the answer, but what is the question, she said, before taking off toward the World Rune. And then I realized, everything became clear to me. I know a mystery when I see one. Consider this one of my myriad talents. Nenio rubs the tip of her nose. After all, these geezers weren't simply on their way to a costume party, were they? Is that geysers? I don't know. After examining several maps, I determined that they were all headed in one direction, to a place not far from Kenabres, a place which is marked as Nameless Ruins, even on ancient Sicorian maps. That's where I need to go. Unraveling the secret of that place will be my greatest discovery. It will secure my place in history, or perhaps even legend. How do you know where to go? Do you know how to find a beehive in a forest? You need to catch 2 bees, set them free in 2 different locations of the forest, and remember the direction they fly in. Then you take a map and draw lines showing the bees' routes. The place where the lines intersect will mark the location of the beehive. Fascinating, yes? By the way, forest bees do not make any honey. Nenio sighs. Is that like when you do that, do bees actually go straight back to their hives? I guess you'd probably have to watch them for a little bit, right? To get the right route. But I guess eventually they would, yeah. And do they have like a... I guess they have like some sort of sense? Or do you just not like... Well, if you capture them, 2 of them, you take them to different spots. I guess they have like some sort of way to sense where the beehive is. I don't know. I don't know much about bee lore. I used the beehive principle here too. For a couple of months, I tracked the strange people in the masks and observed the direction in which they were traveling. I collected the coordinates, mapped their estimated routes, and made a discovery. All the routes intersected at the nameless ruins not far from Canopus. What do you expect to find there? I haven't the slightest idea. If I knew what was hidden there, I wouldn't be so eager to go. These ruins aren't very far from Canopus. You could easily get there by yourself. Why do you need me? Ninio's eyes seemed ready to pop out of their sockets in surprise. Don't you see? This is a legendary secret place. Who knows what may happen to me after I lift the veil and uncover the workings of the universe? My mortal body may be unable to contain all that knowledge, or perhaps I will ascend and become equal to the gods themselves. I think you're jumping to conclusions there. I need you to write down everything that happens and report my fate to the interested parties in Absalom. And don't forget to praise me as I deserve while you're there. You know, these ruins of yours may turn out to be just that. Ruins. Ninio shrugs. In that case, we'll write this experiment off as a failure and start another one. I don't know which experiment I'll try next. That's all I wanted to know. Well, now you know, so off we go. Ninio frowns. Did I just make a rhyme? Perhaps I've discovered poetic talent in myself. Let's conduct an experiment. Quickly say any word, and I'll try to find a rhyme for it right away. Creation. Crustacean. Cogitation. Not the best rhymes, don't you think? Well, this experiment was unsuccessful. We learned that I have no poetic talent after all. Ninio sighs. But it's no reason to despair. Having a gift of poetry in addition to my inexhaustible intelligence would have been a little too much. Besides, I'm catastrophically busy and have no time to spend on writing poetry. Don't call me boy, my name is Manorak. On the grand scale of world history, your name is irrelevant. I have no reason to remember it. You see, the brain of any given individual can contain only limited amounts of facts. I only expend my memory on things that are truly important. The laws of thermodynamics, divine esoterica, planar geography, things that will lead Galarian to a brighter future. Ninio rubs her nose. Besides, what if I make a great discovery, but I won't be able to remember it because my memory is full of outdated or useless information? What a nightmare that would be. What a loss for the whole of Galarian. You do remember your own name, right? Only so I know what to put for the author's name in my encyclopedia. Are there any names worth remembering? There are, and to my deepest regret, there are too many of them. Ninio heaves a sigh that would befit a great stricken old man. The names of gods and demigods, the names of rulers, conquerors, and other persons by some reason deemed great by the people of Galarian. They etch their names into history, and alas, every self-respecting educated person must know them. But there are some names I'm happy to remember. Great scientists, some of them divine, others mortal, true keepers of knowledge and great experimentalists. The pioneers of knowledge. Irori, Nethys, Aurelia Vorlish. But Aurelia Vorlish opened the world rune. She's a betrayer of humanity. It's her fault the demons invaded Galarian. Admiring Aurelia Vorlish is going too far, don't you think? I didn't expect you to mention Aurelia Vorlish. Interesting. I like that one. You think so? She's the greatest of the greatest. Just imagine. She managed to open a rift from Galarian to the Abyss. No one knew how. No one believed it possible. No one even dreamed of such a thing. And she just did it. It was the experiment of the century. Ninio wiped a tear from her eyes. I would have been so happy if I could have been in her place. Of course, some part of Galarian's population died as a result of her experiment, and the Crusaders are still wrestling with its consequences to this day. But the very essence of what Aurelia managed to do was a breakthrough of cosmic significance, both figuratively and literally. Sooner or later, the world wound will be closed. Peace will return to Galarian. As for the victims of the ongoing war, they will be remembered as unfortunate but avoidable sacrifices made at the altar of science. Nenio blinks at you, perplexed. Were we talking about something? Tell me about yourself. I'm an explorer, a pilgrim, a yet-to-be-recognized scientific luminary, future author of the Encyclopedia Galarianica. Yeah. And rector of all of Absalom's universities at once. Future rector, I should say. I feel like we've read that one before. That information should be enough to satisfy your curiosity, because I doubt I will be able to tell you more than that. Where are you from? Irrelevant. I decided to forget it. How'd you become a scientist? Irrelevant. I decided to forget it. You have a circle tattooed on your shoulder. What does it mean? And you cast a sidelong glance at her shoulder. Oh, that. I do not remember the circumstances of its creation, but I like it. I prefer to think of it as a zero, null, nothing. A center point, an origin of coordinates. It reminds me how much of the unknown world there is to explore. You remember how you got it? Irrelevant. Decided to forget it. How can you just decide to forget pieces of information? This is just one of my many talents. The secret is to stop thinking about the thing you want to forget, and the main thing is not to remember anything you don't need. To filter it. To get right to the essence. I'll teach you someday. Unless I forget. What is this encyclopedia you're working on? The Encyclopedia Galarianica is or will be published in 100 volumes, 1,000 pages each, plus the author's addenda, appendices added by future co-authors, and critical commentaries. Addenda indexation is still in question. Nenio looks slightly embarrassed. I just like the number 100, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to keep within the established word limit. It will be a magisterial piece of scholarship that will become a part of the mandatory curriculum of every educational institution worth mentioning. In it, I intend to describe every object, item, event, fact, and personality that is present on or at least somewhere or somehow related to Galarian. My calculations show that I have completed no more than 1% of this monumental book. Do you remember your parents, your past, or is that all irrelevant too? All of it is irrelevant on the grand scale of world history. I have no reason to remember such things. I admire the capabilities of your memory. Forgetting your origin, knowing nothing about who you are and where you are from, that's terrible. Forgive me for saying this, but you're out of your mind. Say nothing. I admire your capabilities. To stay silent gives you a puzzled look. What? What were we talking about? I'll stop torturing you with questions now. Eh? What were we talking about? I'd like to clarify a few things about your new task. No. Have to go. Produces a crumpled piece of paper from her sleeve and takes some notes on it. This conversation lasted approximately 5 minutes. No, it did not. She lifts her chin. By the way, did you know this is the exact amount of time the Inquisitors of Incanabras need to find a defendant guilty? But to shake off Inquisitors chasing you takes 5 times as long. That experiment proved that running well clad in heavy armor is not burdensome for them at all. Okay. That's everyone talked to. Do I need to talk to you guys? Okay. We've got... Where is he? You. Autumn Haze. I met Kaelessa. Foran's melancholic expression remains calm, but his entire body tenses and his fingers wrap around the handle of his weapon. Under what circumstances? I hope he sees the opportunity to kill her. Are you certain of your allegations? Foran lowers his head and says in a hollow voice, I am. Your misdeeds are terrible and proven with absolute certainty. She claims she doesn't serve the demons. Of course she does. In an attempt to buy her life, she would stoop to the boldest and most egregious of lies. Whose word do you trust, hers or mine? I let her go. After giving you a saddened look, Foran stares off into the distance. Your decision is regrettable. I'm afraid that in doing so, you've condemned her many future victims to death. I suppose it just means that bringing this hunt to a close falls upon my shoulders. Good fortune to you. Yep. Okay. We've really, Guess we just wait for Kahlesta's schemes to be revealed. According to the Dark Hunter warnings, Kahlesta will strike soon. It would be wise to prepare to face her head on. I think we've got time. Alright, I don't think I need to talk to anybody else. Erebeth will be the only one that maybe. I thank you for saving the esteemed citizens of Kenabres, even though not all of them deserve to be saved. May Iomedae forgive my words. Erebeth casts a meaningful look at Count Armande, sitting at a nearby table. I don't really mean that, of course. I just never fail to be astounded by the way that good people seem to perish, while the not-so-good prove to be incredibly amazingly enduring. Even so, the Count did offer me his aid. It can't be all that bad. Is there bad blood between you two? Oh no, nothing like that. I think he dislikes all paladins equally. But the real question is, who does he like? Only his hanger-ons, I'd wager. The Count has a certain reputation in Mendev. He's not a pleasant individual by any means, but he's not known for any particular villainy either. The Count enjoys a life of leisure surrounded by a gaggle of sycophants, who are always eager to badmouth the Queen at his command. He likes settling scores, too. There was a hero of the First Crusades, Sir Lant, a kind and honest man. After the end of his glorious career as a soldier, he became a wise mentor to the younger generation. He ran afoul of the Count somehow, perhaps by lecturing him about his idle lifestyle and a lack of purpose. When Sir Lant died, the Count managed to buy a portion of his estate and ordered the knight's helmet to be reforged into a chamber pot. And of course, he didn't keep his little joke private. The Queen was particularly affronted by it because Sir Lant used to be her most loyal comrade in arms. I was there receiving an assignment from Her Majesty and witnessed the exact moment she found out about the helmet's fate. It's a small thing, but I could see the Queen's anguish at the travesty that had been made of her friend's legacy. That's what our Count is like as a person. And as for his talent for survival, you know the story of Heaven's Edge? He was the only member of his family to escape with his life when the demons unleashed a magical plague at the Armande estate. Tell me more about this. I don't know all the details. It happened a while ago, back when I was a mercenary and had nothing to do with Kenabres. I only know there was a grand feast in honor of Damon's birthday, and all his relatives were invited along with a few of other distinguished guests. Everyone died from a mysterious disease someone had unleashed on the estate, including the servants, the guards, and a number of clerics and paladins. But the young Count survived, because of his healing ability, I suppose. Darren does possess an unusually bright talent, even if the application of his skills leaves much to be desired. Erebeth scowls. Why is he trying to provoke the Queen? Who knows? It could be some family matter. The Count is Her Majesty's cousin twice removed or something like that. But I think he simply enjoys infuriating people. Crusaders and Iomedae's servants especially. Thank you. My pleasure. I'm sorry you had to endure my grumbling. Watching these things happen to my city has put me in a foul mood. I found Jenna Oldori, like you asked. Yes, thank you. It's good to have her back. We need every fighter we can get. Erebeth frowns. I suppose it's asking too much to want fighters that are sober as well. I have to go. Alright. Anevia, anything new? Nope. I went to your guys' house, by the way. Lovely place. Alright, let's go to Woljif's estate. Estate? Sure, let's call it that. I don't think there's a whole lot of fighting here. I think unless we fail talking to that golem in the shop, I don't think there's really much fighting, so I think we're safe to just go before we rest. And hopefully that'll save us some time. I guess we could have rested before. Well, no, we don't want to rest before. Alright, over here. It's going to take an hour to get there. Enter. Okay. Let's go ahead and save it, just in case. Sister Carrot... something. Cares me. The basement is dark and dank, and you are immediately struck by the hostility of the gathered tieflings. 5 of them are kneeling along the wall, separate from the rest. The tall woman, who had been cleaning her fingernails with the tip of her knife, greets you with narrowed eyes. Brother Woljif, you got my message then. Sorry I couldn't swing by sooner, dear Sister Caresme. It was just one thing after another. First I was in shackles, next, well, no, I was still in shackles. I was being watched, and then the chief got me out, and I came straight here. I knew you'd been waiting on me. Enough talking, or else we'll be here all night. So, we had a clear plan. We were going to wait for nightfall, slip into the shop, grab the goods, and leave. Even if the neighbors called the gods, there was time to get away. What happened? That bitch Erebeth showed up almost right away. She knew we'd be there. Somebody betrayed us, and I have a good idea who it was. What do you have to say to that? Make it quick. Do you think Woljif knows the name of the traitor? Caresme turns to you. He speaks. I thought Woljif only brought you so he'd have someone to hide behind if things went south. Yes, he knows the name of the traitor. Every gang that Brother Woljif has been a part of has very quickly come to an end. Their hideout location was passed to the guards, or their competitors found out where they could ambush them. Woljif is the only one who always comes out smelling of roses. If you think about it, you'll come to the same conclusion as us. The burden of proof lies on the accuser. Woljif doesn't have to prove anything. Cadabras is burning. Why are you squabbling here instead of fleeing the city? Caresme purses her lips. I'd be glad to leave, like the rest of my brothers and sisters, but in the family, there's nothing worse than betrayal, and it's something we do not forgive. We don't forgive anyone who lets traitors off the hook either. If I don't find the rat, my superiors, let's just say I'll wish I was burning in Cadabras. I want to keep living, so I'm going to take a chance until I find out who is the traitor here. No one is leaving. Woljif, tell us your side of the story. What happened? What's there to tell? About a week ago, Sister Caresme got 6 of us together in this very basement. Me and those 5 over there. I mean, Woljif jerks his head toward the 5 thieflings kneeling by the wall. She rounds us up and she says we got a score. Ancient trees and wonders. The one place nobody's ever been able to hit. The place that's guarded by a golem. But now a powerful scroll that would knock out the golem just happened to come into our possession, along with a tip-off that the shop owner would be gone on a particular night. All 6 of us know a bit of magic, and we know that any enchanted junk will sell for a pretty penny, so we're in. The most important thing was that none of us was to be hanging about the shop ahead of the job. No casing out the place. No calling attention to ourselves from either the golem or its masters. The job was top secret. That's all true so far. Go on. We did everything right. With the locks and the golem, I picked the lock. I remember clear as day. Sister Dauna was on lookout. Brother Melrun had the scroll. Dofi, Tavi, and Varnir brought the sacks. We covered the windows and lit the torches. I remember scooping up rings and tossing them in a sack, and one right expensive one rolled away from me. I crawled under a table after it, and the next thing I know, Erebeth was there. Everybody scrambled, or scampered, but I was still under the table. Not my finest moment. I was going to wait it out, but then those blockheads were dragging me out by my tail and put me in shackles. They took all my rings off me, about 20,000 worth, and to add insult to injury, I never even found the last one. In the end, I got busted over nothing. So they caught you. Poor thing. Stripped you of your loot, and you didn't even manage to stash anything. Caresme is pointedly polishing her knife. Where's the moon of the abyss, Brother Woljif? What is the moon of the abyss? It was an amulet. It used to sit on a little cushion in the window of Ancient Trees and Wonders. Sterling silver, sparkled like a star. Fine piece of work. On one side there was a half moon. You know, a crescent of waning moon. A waning moon. And in the middle there was a dark crystal, like it was eclipsing the moon. Old man Philemon was so proud of that amulet, he used to say, "I'll never sell it, it's the jewel of my collection." Woodruff sighs unhappily. I used to go there to see what kind of treasures there were in the world. There's nothing else to look at in Kenabres. People used to claim it was a powerful thing, but who's to say? If you ever stole a thing like that, you'd have the guards on you the second you tried to fence it. Everybody knew you were always hanging around Ancient Trees and Wonders, drooling over the moon of the abyss. Did you think you could swipe it in all the commotion and keep it for yourself? Did you hope that we'd all be locked up and you'd be off scot-free, and with a fancy trinket to boot? Don't take me for a mug, Woodruff. I see right through you. Why would Erebeth arrest her own informant? Took the words right out of my mouth. It doesn't make any sense. If I was the rat, I'd have kissed her on the hand and been long gone by now. You know me, sister. I'm a cautious fellow, not an idiot. Why would I go against the family? So the fish in the cellar can have a nice Woodruff-sized dinner? The moon of the abyss is a pretty bauble, to be sure, but it's just an amulet. It ain't worth dying for. You knew Erebeth's people would protect you. You knew you could pin the moon going missing on them. And now you've come here with backup. You knew exactly what I was going to say to you. Only problem is, nobody's returned the amulet to Philemon. Are you giving Erebeth a cut? Is that it? Have you seen her? Do you think she'd take a cut of anything I offered? She can't be bought. She's like 3 heralds of Iomedae all rolled into one. He speaks the truth. You'll find some knights who'll take bribes. I'm sorry to say, but Erebeth Terabate isn't one of them. Go on, Woodruff. That's the whole sorry story. Woodruff crosses his arms, looking affronted. Some family this turned out to be. It's just a name in the end. In a real family, people take each other at their word. They don't throw around accusations. I didn't take the Moon of the Abyss. What am I gonna do with it? You can't sell it to no crusaders. It's a special item. You can't wear it, it'll get nicked. It's pretty to look at, sure, but it ain't that pretty. If it's that important to you, Sister Karazme, I'll find it, and I'll drag the traitor here by his horns. Just so you don't end up at the bottom of the salon. But do you know what you're gonna owe me for that? An apology. Right here, in front of everyone. You're going to apologize loud and clear so everyone hears. You'll say, "Sorry, Woodruff, you're a good guy, and I was wrong about you." Fine. You're one of my people, which is why I'm going to give you some time. But if you run, Brother Woodruff, the family will get you wherever you go. You'll spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, tossing and turning at night, fearing poison in every cup and every meal. You'll look into the eyes of every tiefling you meet, wondering if the family's come for you. You'll have no peace, but one day, you'll be tired of running. You'll just stop to catch your breath, and that is when you'll get caught. Or when we'll get you. Got that? You have a way with words, scares me. A way that almost made me wet myself, but a way nonetheless. Let's go, Chief. We'll go chat to that scary gal, Erebeth. She knows you a little. We can ask her who ratted us out. I'll let you do the talking. We'll find the real traitor. And I'll get my apology. Onward to Erebeth, Chief. Let's go clear my good name. Root out the traitor, but be quick about it. Time's running out. I don't want to get chewed up by demons. Yep. Are you a merchant, by the way? No. I've never checked that. It would have been a good bet. Yeah, I need this, to help find the traitor. Ooh. Who's my best lockpickers at Woljif? Trickery 13, Trickery 12, yeah. At least for now. I think they might be tied in reality, but... There you go. Is it? I have to use that item? No, it's automatic. Okay. All right, back to Erebeth. Another hour. I think after we get done with Woljif's quest, we're gonna go to the library. Alright, Arabeth. I need information. Information, please.
Head on.
Any success? How's the city? There's this trader I'm trying to track down. Who's your informant among the thieflings? Arabeth arches her brow in surprise. Canopus is threatened by a demon horde and you have enough time to help out thieves? Arabeth sighs. I don't like this, but I hope you know what you're doing. I'll tell you everything I know. I did not see my informant's face. He slipped out of a dark alley, handed me the note, and disappeared. Arabeth hesitates as she tries to remember. He had a cloak with a hood masking his face, but the horns, the long horns, didn't fit under it. There should be a guardian golem in Ancient Trees and Wonders, the shop they tried to rob. The owner gave us the construct's code word just in case. The golem itself was destroyed, but the head seemed to be intact, so you can interrogate the thing and find out what it saw. The code word is Hand of Awori. The shop's owner must have escaped, but there's a chance you'll get lucky with the golem. Alright, go. May Iomedae keep you safe. Stolen Moon. Shall we head to the shop now? Maybe you don't fight the golem if it's already been destroyed. I was thinking about something else. There we go. Same group, yep. Another hour here. Let's fight him. Get that XP. Hopefully it's not another succubus and stuff. Okay, good. It's a spider.
Only you deserve my approval.
Do not fear. Do not waver.
Good shot. Good shot. Woljif, charge him. Can you charge him? No. Move up.
Out of my sight.
Move up. Move up. Move up. Can you charge him? No. Okay.
Cover me, all right?
I'll cut you wide open.
Cut you wide open.
I will see to your
Good.
demise.
Easy.
I lead. You follow.
We're not too far from level 5. I think you get to level 5 just before you go into the Great Garrison, maybe? Enter location. Ancient Trees and Wonders. Alright. Let's see what we got going on here.
Is anyone there? Please get me out of here.
Well, hello there.
The polished oak shelves once showcased magic rings. And
Pull me out.
quiet, Phineas.
Hello?
Rings and amulets. Now all that's left are the grubby handprints of the robbers. Yeah, demon heart in here.
Hello? Is anyone there?
No, what is that?
Same stuff. Okay. Loot. Was that the ring he was looking for? Maybe?
Onwards.
Go ahead and loot this.
Hello? Is anyone there?
And the robbers really left a lot of stuff here. Pipe box.
Please? Get me out of here. I can hear
Scroll.
your footsteps. Pull me out. Hello?
Free at last. I thought I'd be flattened like a pancake under that rubble. Much obliged. Damn, I'm not in any pain, but my head is so foggy for some reason. What's with all the hubbub in the city? The name's Finian. I'm a Pathfinder. If there's anything I can do to help, I will.
Has this always been voiced? For some reason I remember it not being voiced. Maybe it's only this first conversation that's voiced. You're a Pathfinder?
That's right, Finian Dismar, Pathfinder and Crusader. I roam around the world wound wherever my tasks lead me. Scouting mostly, but this last while I've just been hanging around in Canabras, waiting until I'm needed again. I'm bored out of my mind, but at least this shop makes for better lodging than some inn.
What I meant was, what are you?
What's that supposed to mean? I just told you. You want to know where I hail from, is that it? Well, I'm from around here, actually. We Helots of the Star-Eye clan fled when the World Wound troubles began. But I couldn't stand by while the demons wreaked havoc, so I came back. Or did you mean to ask about my weapon of choice? My best weapon is every weapon. I'm a skilled and capable fellow, if I do say so myself. I can swing a sword and poke with a spear, but what I am best at is communing with the spirits. They call folks like me Phantom Blades.
A Phantom Blade? What's that?
It's like a spiritualist, but with a twist. It means that some spirit took a liking to me at some point, and it can turn into whatever weapon I need. Handy, eh? I don't need any whetstones or enchantments. Doesn't take up space either. Although, to be fair, it's not a barrel of laughs. The spirits that bestow this kind of power don't come from happy places, and they're not exactly bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They usually appear after great battles that leave few survivors.
The city is under attack by demons.
Wait, what? The last thing I saw was some thieves breaking in here. And then the guards came, everyone was running around. After that, it's a bit of a blur. Right when things got intense, they dropped the cabinet on me. I couldn't even help the owner. I was just lying under the shelves like a dimwit until you came along. If there are demons in Canabras, we must do something about it. The city needs every blade it can get. Hey, do you mind taking me with you? I don't think I can handle this alone. And besides, the more the merrier.
How'd you end up in the shop?
I've been waiting here so long I don't even remember anymore. Just sitting and waiting for any word from the Pathfinders, but it looks like everyone has forgotten about me. The shop owner is an old friend of the Pathfinders, so I've taken up residence here.
Alright, I'll take you with me.
I swear you won't regret it. I can do all sorts of things. Is there anything your party is missing? A sword, a spear, a bow? Just say the word.
Alright, so we have Finian now. That's him here? Okay. So we can make him any weapon we want. What's the best reach weapon? Is it a glaive? I don't think... Well, let's just see what he is. So it would be Cold Iron, Ghost Touch, Enchanted Weapon. What's the Ghost Touch property give? I guess I maybe have to equip it. The Ghost Touch weapon deals damage normally against incorporeal creatures, regardless of... But that would have been great against the Shadow Demon. Incorporeal creatures, 50% reduction in damage from corporeal success or sources. Does not apply to attacks made against it with Ghost Touch. Okay. So, my weapon's okay, so I don't think we'll be using that. Oh, we need to equip your other weapon too. I mean, he's got the Claw of Jiska. I know it's not Cold Iron. And he's got his saber, so I think he's okay. He's got that. I think Camellia probably has the worst weapon then. So maybe we should make it a rapier for her. Finian the Talking Weapon, Cold Iron. 2-7. Yeah. Ghost Touched. Cold Iron. Yeah, I think that should be... That'll probably be the best upgrade for us for that.
Ask nicely.
I gotta always remember to do this. Offhand. That work? Yes, okay. Okay. We could probably finish this quest before we end the episode. Might be a little long episode, but... The formerly well-appointed shop owner, or shop, now looks a sorry state, and has been completely ransacked. Lying in the corner next to the scorched wall are the soot-covered shards of a clay golem's head. Golem's eyes glow in the gloom. Master. Code word. Hand of Aurori. Code word correct. The Golem's eyes glow brighter, awaiting orders. Where'd you come from? Who created you? This Golem was created by Gafreen and Son. Address, 3rd building on the right, Jeweler's Alley, Nerisian, Mendev. Model G504-E&E, which stands for Experimental and Enhanced. For all inquiries, contact Mr. Gafreen. Tell me about any suspicious people who came to the shop in the last week. The Golem is silent for a moment. 56 individuals entered the shop. Human, female, old. Gnome, male, old. Human, female. You'll be railing out customers till midnight. We need to ask it in a different way. Were any of the suspicious people tieflings? The Golem is silent for a while. Tieflings, 3. Tieflings male, middle-aged. Tiefling male, young. Tiefling female, young. Tell me about the young male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height. Short horns, curling backwards. Medium length tail. Eye color yellow. Hair color black. Special observations, annoyed master. Horns, hair, tail. That sounds like me. That's not possible. I know what the security's like here. I didn't come near the place. I give you my word, Chief. No special observations. Subject was unremarkable. There, see? Can't have been me. Describe the middle-aged male tiefling. Tiefling male, medium height, long horns, medium length tail, eye color pale blue, skin color dark, special observations, red hair. Oh, that's our trader. I bet my life on it. Kazmi drilled it into our heads that we wasn't to go hanging about the shop. Red hair. Got a couple of genders, and plenty more who get it out of a bottle. So much for a special observation. Golems ain't all they cracked up to be, eh? Maybe its master knows more. The female tiefling? Above average height. Hair long pale. Tail not observed. Long horns. Eye color blue. Special observation. Scar on nose. Baldric with gold stitching. I don't know that one. New rival, most likely. Gold stitching, eh? I don't mind getting to know her a little better. Enough. Where is your master? Felaman Fruliatros, my master, is in hiding place. Revealing the location of the hiding place is prohibited. Prohibited. He likely holed himself up in the basement when the commotion started. The entrance should be around here somewhere. Where's the basement? The basement is below me. I guard the basement. Leaving my post is prohibited. I found everything I wanted to know. Go ahead and remove that. Into the basement.
Move out.
Go and loot this place. I see him back there. Open that lock, Woljif.
This is my kind of work.
Hello. The elderly gnome, so portly to be nearly spherical, is curled up in the corner of the basement shaking. Marauders! Bandits! Scavengers! And a very good day to you as well, my dear shopkeep. Are you the shop owner? Shut it, or you'll pay for your insults with your life. Please calm down, no one's going to rob you. Shut it. The gnome's hands scrabble around on the floor, seemingly in search of something to hurl at you. The Eagle Watch have probably caught up with the bandits by now. And you won't get off lightly either, you can be sure of that. The gnome notices Woljif, and his rounded face turns scarlet. You! Woljif, the dirty little sneak thief! You've been sniffing around my shop for years. Finally worked up the courage to rob me, did you? Get out of here. You and your pals have taken everything already, I'm sure. The gnome seems to settle slightly. My name is Felaman Fruliatros. I was the owner of this shop, but I'm not sure I can claim to be the owner of anything now. There's at least something left of it. Oh, come off it. Your shop's fine. It's a bit ransacked, maybe, but nothing a bit of spit and polish can't fix. Where were you the night of the robbery? Do you think I robbed my own shop? I was here in the basement. I was told to make it look like I'd left. The Watch was very keen to get their hands on those tieflings. They seem to be multiplying all over Golarion. So, of course, I did everything they said. And I've been stuck in this basement since then. The golem wouldn't move away from the door, no matter how much I yelled at it. But then I thought that it was all to the good. Somebody came by after the guards and caused a ruckus upstairs, bellowing like mad, taking advantage of my absence. Tell me about the tieflings that have visited Ancient Trees and Wonders recently. Why should I tell you anything about my customers? You're not from the City Guard or the Eagle Watch. Chief, if he keeps digging his heels in, just say the word. I know how to loosen his tongue. I'm helping the Eagle Watch to try and catch the culprits. It is in your interest to tell me everything. Start talking or else. Start talking or else. The gnome shifts into a defiant stance, his hands on his hips. Or else what? The worst's already happened. The whole city's picked over my shop. Feels like. I'm ruined. Go ahead, kill me, before my creditors come knocking. Bluff them. So they haven't got the tieflings? I thought the city's finest were on the job, and they... The gnome sighs. You can't rely on anyone. Ask your questions then, if it's so important. Tell me about Woljif. Fellman's face wrinkles in distaste. Woljif Jefto, right? Yes, I've known him a long time, but I'd rather not know him at all. He's been skulking around my shop for years, treating the place like a free museum. He always wanted to take a look at the Moon of the Abyss. I'd chase him out, but he'd just slink back in again. If he was with the gang that robbed my shop, I'll bet anything he swept the moon. Oh, come on, I'm the prime suspect. Whoever betrayed us all, that's the one who's got the moon. I want to see it return too, you got me? I don't like the idea of other people's grubby mitts on it. Tell me about the red-haired tiefling. Philemon falls to thinking. A red-haired tiefling. I suppose, yes, there was one who came in, spent a long time looking around. He was a person of modest means, I could tell by his clothes, but he asked me to show him an Azamir-made chainmail. He certainly couldn't afford it. That's when I suspected that something was off. I checked everything after he left, but nothing was missing, and that put my mind at ease. I can't remember what he looked like. I didn't get a good look at his face. All I remember is that he was wrapped in a green cloak, like he was freezing. That's all I have. That's it. With that description, we'll surely sniff him out. Come on, Chief, back to Sister Karazmi. We go, to have a good long shifty at all my brothers and put all these clues together. Something tells me our trader isn't gonna wriggle out of this one. Tell me about the tiefling woman. He scratches his chin. A tiefling woman. Ah yes, I remember now. A noble lady, unlike the tiefling ruffians we have around here. She purchased magical equipment for the crusade, and she promised to come again. If only all tieflings were like that, I'd be laughing all the way to the bank. I found everything I wanted to know. If that isn't enough to help you catch the thieves, I don't know what else to tell you. Now be on your way and leave me in peace with my wreck of a shop. Yeah, maybe we should kill him. What if he's got good loot on him?
Head on.
I'm curious. Oh, I can't do it now. Damn it. I mean, he's the owner of a magic shop. He might have something good on him. Is there anything in here? No. Oh, some scrolls have been torn apart, and some have been trodden on by muddy butts.
I lead. You follow.
Alright. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a long episode. I hope you guys are okay with that. Less than an hour. That's what I like to see. God damn it.
Save the last one for me.
A shear? Is it just a shear? Alright. Fire. Good damage. It missed. Good.
Into the fray!
The spirits demand your blood!
Die. Precision
Good.
and grace.
Get out of here, shear. I'll take that. I think his portrait's really cool, Woljif. He's got a really cool portrait. Alright, red hair, green cloak. Which one's green? That one's green. Yep. Yeah, that's him. Malron. Karasme drums her fingers nervously on the handle of her blade. Well, you're gonna tell me who the traitor is? Name and the moon of the abyss that they stole? I don't need anything else. What are you accusing? I met some thiefling from your gang. One of them got trapped trying to get into an underground passage. She shrugs. And what? We all made a pact, everyone for themselves. We'll meet up at the arranged time and place. They were dumb enough to crawl into some hole in the ground. That's their luck. That's their lookout. I'm not their nanny. Okay. Take a look. The tieflings are tense and ready to reach for their weapons. The only redheads are Malron and Doffy. The dark-skinned tieflings are Varnier, Doffy, and Malron. Doffy, Malron, and Tavi have straight horns, and Tavi is female. Only Varnier and Malron have green cloaks. I'm ready to give you their name. It is Malron. You'll pay for this. Voitiel and Hepzamira will get you in the end. Grab him. Take him away for questioning. I somehow remember that going differently. Huh. Karasme looks weary, but her earlier tension has clearly lifted. He confessed. Someone connected to the code of Baphomet ordered him to steal the moon of the abyss. And the best idea he could come up with was to drag us into it. He got the scroll to take out the golem. He betrayed us to Erebeth so that he could swipe the amulet into the chaos. He thought we'd get nicked. He thought we'd get nicked and he'd slink off to meet up with his customer. You got the moon of the abyss? Let me look at it one more time. My whole life I've dreamt of holding it in my hands, if only it's for a second. He said when he got to the window display, the moon was gone. He's lying, of course. He had time to hand the moon off to the person who ordered it. Bloody cultists. I don't really give a toss. I'm just glad we got to the bottom of this. What are you going to do now? Clear out of this place. The sooner the better. The city's dying. I don't want to die with it. The city would have already died if not for the people who stood up to defend it with weapons in their hands. So defend it. I'm not stopping you. It's your city. But we've always been outsiders here. Why would we fight for you and now? What are you going to do with the traitor? Karasme nonchalantly picks at her nails with her knife tip. He'll be sent to visit his distant relatives on the farm. To think about what he did. Any more questions? I have to go. Good decision. I don't plan to hang around here long either. Karasme turns and leaves. Sister. Woljif nervously bites his lips. His cheeks are flushed and his tail is swishing through the air. You forgot something. What now? You should be happy to be alive. An apology? You promised to apologize to me loudly in front of everyone. We're alone now, but I still want to hear it. Well? That. She shrugs indifferently. So, sorry, I suppose, for being wrong about you this time. Don't think that just because you didn't act like a jerk this one time that it cancels out the rest of your record. I know all about you. Till next time, Woljif. That was the most pathetic apology I've ever heard. Karasme's eyes harden, but then she sighs. Alright, fine. I'm sorry, Woljif. Let's part on good terms. And now apologize to me as well. When you falsely accused me, my ally, you accused me too. Don't push it. Karasme turns to leave, but she hesitates and adds, good luck to the both of you. Damn. Woljif watches her go, his tail relaxing. Better than nothing. Listen, Chief. When you've got a spare minute, come see me. I have something I want to discuss with you. But for now, let's get out of here. I don't like sitting below ground when the building above is ready to crash down on our heads. Good point. Now, before we leave, there is something over here we're gonna do. Did you know Karazme would forget to lock a vault with a pile of money in it? You should be so lucky. If you want to clear the cobwebs out of them pockets of yours, you're gonna have to try a bit harder. Oh, wait, we opened the door though.
Pay attention.
Disarm that.
Pretty good, aren't I?
No, we all failed. God damn it. That's so annoying when you know there's a door there, but everybody fucking failed to see it. Is there anything I can do to, like, force me to see it? I don't want to have to come back. I guess we can come back here, like, after the attack on the Defender's Heart with other people with good perception. That's annoying. I don't know who has the best perception in our party. We need to get somebody with good perception. Because that's not the first thing that's... I think we missed something in the Ancient Trees and Wonders shop, too. Alright. Back to the Defender's Heart, and then we'll end the episode. Enter the location. Alright guys, in the next episode, we'll talk to Woljif, we'll rest, and then we're going to head off to the library to help the storyteller. And do everything else in that quadrant. I have decided to do the Tower of Estrock last. I know that means we probably won't see Greybor there. But maybe we'll get lucky and do everything really quick in the library. We also have the rest of the market square to do, so still have quite a bit to do. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.